Man, oh man. Oda on his GOAT shit again, dropping peak back to back. It's as if GOAT is always holding back on us. This backstory starting off is already the best backstory in the series, but first let's get into what took place this chapter. This chapter we got a good glimpse of the Gorsei's true power, with the chapter starting off with all the Marines scared shitless running for their lives to escape Saturn's wrath. Then Saturn's like, "You think I let this fodder stab me on purpose? That's quite disrespectful," and hits them with that Victoria Newman like he did last chapter. But her head doesn't explode, instead causing her to hurt and bleed from a single glance. Even Sanji getting the same treatment with his insanely durable exoskeleton. Then we see Saturn healing himself, and this guy Saturn is truly a demon, taking everything into his own hands to make sure the job gets done, as he's disappointed in Kizaru's performance, but he understands that he had to fight Nika. But honestly, I would have liked to see an all-out fight between the two. Kizaru running away from Luffy to take out Vegapunk when he somehow missed the Vegatank, when we know how strong Kizaru is and how precise his attacks are, which put a lot more questions in the air, but I digress. The next panel, Saturn attempts to end the series right then and there, and Frankie launches Luffy to safety and successfully saves his captain. Then Saturn basically tells them that there's no way they could possibly escape this situation, as all the coasts have been completely blocked, and says we shall see what fate has in store for them, as if he genuinely believes that they could somehow escape, even it being the slightest chance. Which, one of my predictions is that Kuma will appear on Egghead, and since he no longer has free will, the drums of liberation will miraculously free him from the chains of enslavement that he's worn since birth, just like how the giant robot awakened from the drums, which we'll get more into later. Saturn then explains Vegapunk betraying the government is a sin that can't be forgiven, and that he appreciates all he's done for the Navy. Then we see him mentioning human nature, which is not the first time he's mentioned how weak he believes humans to be, which puts a lot of thoughts up in the air concerning the origination of the Gorsei. Then we see another ability of Saturn, which is literally a force keeping them pinned down, which Vegapunk predicts to be from his devil fruit. As Bonnie starts to express her hatred towards Saturn for killing Kuma, Saturn then explains that Kuma was a born slave and he was part of a race who committed a grave sin against the world, a survivor of the extinct Buccaneer race. Then we get into the start of the most important backstory in One Piece so far. Kuma telling Bonnie the story of how Kuma wanted to be a hero who saved the people from suffering and granted them freedom, just like the warrior of liberation, Nika. Everyone helplessly watching Bonnie get the life crushed out of her, as we see more into Kuma's backstory, starting with the birth of a happy boy and two loving parents. Then Kuma's father asked the doctor not to leak his blood relation to the Buccaneer tribe, but the government agents end up finding out anyway. So Kuma's father gives himself up so they don't hurt his family, and after his father begs them for mercy to let them go, they all end up in chains. The celestial dragons then see his Buccaneer strength at his young age and whip him for being too slow. And then he cries, as any child would in this situation, and the celestial dragons threaten to kill him if he continues crying. He then reunites with his father, and Kuma tells his father that they're very kind to him. Then his father breaks the news to him that his mother was killed and is now in a better place. After this, the saddest One Piece panel reveals itself. Kuma wanting to die because it would be easier than surviving the hell he's living in, with his father assuring him that one day Nika will save him from his enslavement. As Kuma's father explains the story of Nika, the celestial dragon shoots Kuma's father down in cold blood for being too loud, right in front of Kuma's eyes. Then we see the long-awaited explanation of what happened at God Valley. We find out that the native cleansing festival takes place once every 3 years, and that they chose God Valley to be the next place they host it. It being a non-government affiliated country, they slaughter the inhabitants of the island and seize it of its abundant resources. Then we see for Garling, the Holy Knight, and he looks a lot like Shanks in his prime. Shanks right now looks like he's older than the version of Garling that we see here. He reminds me of Gil Thunder from Seven Deadly Sins, except with a crazy ass old president hairstyle. The world government is a different category of evil. These guys chase and kill slaves for fun. After invading territory, then taking it over to host their own fun tournament. Saturn is then informed that they found a child who tried to escape, and Ivan says if Kuma had escaped, they all would have been killed. Ivan then ends the chapter giving a speech of hope to the slaves who've been prosecuted. Wow, this chapter was amazing. Let's get into the theories now. Alright, so with the timing of the backstory and the reveals that we got in this chapter, it's safe to say that their escape will be heavily impacted by Luffy, because the common theme between what Kuma told Bonnie and what Kuma's father told him is that Nika will save them. Along with Kuma, the Revolutionary Army will also have to make an appearance, which means that this arc is going to heat up even more. And with the help of the giant robot that we see awaken from the drums of liberation, we'll get to see Kuma and the Revolutionary Army attempt to save the Straw Hats, granting them an escape, and Luffy finally fulfilling Kuma's dream of Nika freeing him of his enslavement to the world government. This chapter was absolutely amazing, and I can't wait to see all the Rock Pirates and Goldie Roger and the rest of the legends fight. All in all, this chapter for me was a 10 out of 10. Let me know what you guys think about this chapter in the comment section below. Would love to hear your theories and hot takes on God Valley as well. Make sure to like and subscribe for more content like this, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Y'all niggas been telling me to do this record again. Man, let me tell you something. This record is off the chain. Balls in your motherfucking jaws. Part of the Disrespect album. Let's go. Disrespect, fun music. Midi West, she wanna be my private dancer. The stripper anthem, baby. My private detour. Let's go. Let's go, baby. Can I put my ball